Evening, everyone. It's a few minutes after 6, actually 6:10, and this is your closing comments, video number 781 for Monday the 24th. And please hit that subscribe button and get the notifications. I'm doing a lot of work on this stuff. Okay, so today was a pretty strong day. It was overnight, and I made a comment this morning that I'm going to repeat. I think that a great deal of the daily risk on, risk off kind of mentality is in fact tied to the non-correlated asset of Bitcoin. There are a lot of people who are using a fair amount of leverage, some of them using a lot of leverage. And so I think that these big dips, the increased volatility that we've had in the last couple of weeks, last 2 weeks, really weigh on the market as far as sentiment goes. So, I'll show you the chart in a few minutes, but I think that when you have something that made a low around 29,000 and then popped all the way back up to 42,000 and has been consolidating for a couple of days, I think that when it bounced from last night's low and started back up and was actually well up on the day before the open of the market, I think that that eases a lot of the concern about financial accidents, we'll call them, where somebody who is doing something in Bitcoin affects the whole market because they can't meet a margin call. In any event, it was pretty strong today, and I'll show you that in a second. The chart on the screen is the US dollar, and I'm showing you that because it is making new closing lows, and I find that to be pretty disturbing. I know that we have a lower low close here at 89.73.4. We closed today 89.83.8, but I will show you that on a weekly basis, and this would not be valid until Friday, on a weekly basis, our lowest close was right here at the end of 2018 at 89.89. We are through that already. So unless this rallies, we're going to have a new closing low on a weekly basis. And it even gets worse as we go a little further back on we have all of this consolidation in here. But the low trade there is only 88.15. I don't know what the closing low is in there, but I'd say it's probably around 88.90. We formed a really tight little wedge in here, and we could come down pretty hard on this. And this is something I've been saying to you for literally months. And we have this channel. This is the wedge I was talking about. It looks almost parallel here, but it's not. And after this 5 days of consolidation, if we can close below this 89.63, we are headed substantially lower. Okay, I promised you the Bitcoin, so let's go to that. We've just reopened for the evening session, so I'll just show you where we are. Today we were down here, this is what I said, under 32, all the way back to over 39. That was in the cash. On the futures, we had a low of 33,720 and a high of 39,950, and as you can see, the close was the high. Close above 40,320 on a daily basis would put us back into a new recovery high after bouncing off 29,000 and change down here. So this has been pretty strong, and again, I think that even though it's not correlated to the market per se, we do get a signal from it, and that's very clear. Okay, so just to go over a few more of the commodities, just real quickly, because I want to get back to the stocks. We had the oil up $2.50, now down 7 cents. We have a position in UNG, in nat gas, and so I'm going to show you that one only because it did close down on the day about 1.7 cents, but as you can see, as it did here, made a low and closed on the high and barely down. This is a little different, obviously, because we had broken already this 20-day moving average. So unless we turn back up, we're going to see the 5 come down through it. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it back over 302 or so tomorrow. The bonds were up about a half a point, and the gold was up 780. So let's go back to the stocks. Okay, so the FAANG stocks in general were higher. This morning I told you about the successful trial of the Virgin Galactic vehicle, and we were up about $4. In point of fact, we closed up almost $6 after trading up $1 higher than that. Want to mention that this stock, which was up 27% today, is also up almost 70% in the last 4 days, from the low of 1586 to today's high at 2772. This morning I also mentioned AMC because of the first big blockbuster reopen of a movie in a theater, the F9 show, which is the Fast and Furious franchise, doing $162 million. AMC buyers certainly took that to heart. The stock closed $13.95, up $1.87, and that was 15.4%. NVIDIA, which reports later this week, which also has a pretty big 4-day range from 541 to today's high 629.80, so a $90 move, or roughly 17% in the last 4 days, low to high. Today closed 626.55, up about 27 or 4.5%. Amazon, it looks like, is close to a deal, and last week when we talked about this MGM movie deal, everybody was talking in the 5 to 6 billion. It now looks like it's closer to 9 billion, which is pretty close to what was originally discussed. The deal could come as early as tomorrow. The stock closed 32.45, up 42. I don't expect that really had much to do with the deal, as it did with the market. But this would probably be a pretty strong signal, depending upon price, of what Viacom starts to look like. The stock was down a little today after having a pretty good day on Thursday and Friday of last week. Something that didn't have a particularly good day was Lordstown Motors. They had big miss revenues and earnings. In fact, they were expecting a loss of 28 cents, and it came in at a loss of 82 cents, I believe was the number. Revenues were dramatically lower, and that wasn't really as big a problem as the conference call and the company's statement that, gee, it's really a lot harder than it looks to take a car from concept to production. This, of course, is the endurance truck that is supposed to be in direct competition with Tesla, which was also up 26 today. But this stock had closed at 967, up 9 cents. And since the earnings came out, it was driven down pretty hard. Traded as low as, I saw 870 last as 872, down 86 cents or 9%. No real surprise. I mean, Musk had his problems, and, the street talked about them. I can't believe that these guys got involved and expected everything to go as projected. Their projections are dramatically off at this point. Also, the Cabot Oil and Gas Cimarex deal, this morning when I mentioned it, both stocks were basically unchanged to up a little, down a little. But the deal really underwhelmed the street, and both stocks were down about 7%. Cabot Oil and Gas, $16.59, down $1.22 or 6.85, and Cimarex, $66.09, down $5.10 or 7.16. So neither of those performed particularly well, and just goes to show you, unless there are some solid synergies and stuff, mergers of equals don't excite anybody. All right, everyone, I'll be back first thing in the morning. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back.